Hello, everyone, and welcome live. Welcome to my live today, and we'll be discussing a very important topic these days, which is happening, and we all know that is also causing so many problems in our lives, right? And the topic is so important that it should not be neglected anymore. So, today, what we'll be talking about is how this digital world can affect you and also has affected so many of my clients, um, which I'll be sharing the experiences of. Okay. And before I get started, I'll wait for a few more minutes and then we'll talk all about this. In the meantime, I hope you all are doing good. And as I always do on my lives, I'll finish off the topic and then I'll open the floor if you have any questions regarding this topic. Okay? So, with that, I think let's get started. So, what are we talking today? We are talking about understanding this art of, literally, what if I can put it in other words, that digital world and how is it literally affecting us. So, in other words, if I have to put it like an art of just self care, how we can protect ourselves from this digital world. And I'll be also discussing nine very important points which you can apply right away and start to see the differences. Okay, so let's get started. So, I think, do you have a good practice when it comes around the digital world? And I think most of us would say, sorry, no, I don't think so. So, number one thing when I get started with you right now is pick one of the mental habits which you have been postponing since last year to improve upon. Okay. So, you are planning to change it, but you are not seeing any difference and you're not able to gather the strength to change that habit. So, one mental, because I think the biggest challenge, what I've seen it with my clients regarding this digital era, is their mental issues or the mental challenges they have, right? And we'll be talking one of those most prominent ones today in this life. So, after doing so many coaching sessions with my clients, the one of the biggest one which I was able to gather is they, while being on the digital world all the time, the one thing which they all develop is excessive thinking, right? And excessive thinking could come from so many ways. When they're on the social media platforms, it they start to think what other person is doing. Have I already commented on their post or not? And there's so much anxiousness and anxiety comes with that, right? So, in other words, the nervousness, right? Nervousness starts to develop. Oh, first thing I have to be on in the morning, I have to be on the social media, I have to comment on my friends' um, post or blog or something and or video. And if I don't do that, she would feel bad or he would feel bad, and so on and so forth. And then you get literally addicted to that feeling, which you want to do it again and again. So, because of that, because of this digital world, I think the social anxiety disorder is on the rise. When people meet each other, the common topics they have. Did you see that person on social media? Did you see what they did, what they bought, what they have, what are they doing? Like it's a very common knowledge now to even talk about it. So once it's just the part when you have an exposure to the digital world, and the second part too is now, which I've seen it with my clients, when they go to parties or the gatherings, they're talking about it also. Oh, did you see that post? Or did you see that thing? So no, the conversation also follows it. Now, Have you ever seen this also? If somebody says, "Oh, I missed out on that post or I missed out on that video, so sorry," they apologize. They feel guilty about it for not doing it. So these things of overthinking, of reaction, of getting to understand how human behavior literally works leads to what? Right? Some kind of mental challenge or disorder. Some people are able to cope up with it, but most of my clients have not been. And that's what I'm talking today. So let's talk about what is the root cause of this overthinking, nervousness. Okay. So I have a method which I personally call as PSP. Now, if you can write down here which part of PSP you can relate to. So P is perfectionism. This is the one of the huge things social media or the digital era has given all of us. So we try to be on the social media our best way, our best form, and that is fine, but getting obsessive about it is not fine. Okay, I hope you're understanding this. So perfectionism, and then thinking like, oh, I have to do it this way, that way. Sharing a knowledge is just sharing a knowledge, right? So you don't have to perfect it too much. It is who you are. The authenticity then declines if you're doing or working too much on what trends are going on. Which some trends are fine, which are educational trends. So I have nothing against those, right? So please, I need to tell you all that. There are certain things about social media or digital era which I'm not against about, but there's certain things which is affecting you. That's what I'm trying to make you understand how they're relating to you. Okay, so the first P is all about perfectionism, right? Second is S, PSP, like I said. S is a stress. Now, if you're already dealing with stress in your life, let's say regarding your job, professional life, personal life, what happens? That amplifies. So the digital era is giving you something when you see somebody, let's say you are having issues with your job. And when you see somebody posting over there, wow, I'm doing so well in my job. What happens to you? Right? So you feel so bad about it, right? Because, and then what? Some people are not able to cope up with it correctly. They keep thinking in the same patterns. All right. So, second one is all about stress, right? When you see what digital era can give you. The third one is now, this is also an underlying situation where you have a past trauma. So, a social media or the digital era can become a trigger to it. Are you all with me? So I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to explain to you, that how digital era works. So if you already have an underlying situation of a past trauma, what digital era can do, it can also amplify or enhance it more. So it can act as a trigger. So many people, adults, teens, they fall into that trap of this PSP. And again, what are you heading towards? Overthinking, nervousness, and negative thinking, I would say. So I would like to put it as a negative thinking because some of my clients actually had those. So what happens? This negative thinking or this pattern of overthinking, nervousness continues for a very, very long time. Now, what will happen to you? There are few things that happen. You can check it out right now. I'll be discussing them all. Number one is difficulty concentrated. So you would not be able to concentrate well, whether it's your personal life, whether you're a homemaker, whether it's professional life, either ways. Number two is the fixation on the worst case scenario. Now, here some of my clients, they always think very negative because see, if you have given your brain to constantly think negative again and again, so it starts to think very negatively about a situation, that it's the worst case scenario I'm talking about. The next one is thinking intrusive thoughts. Now, what are intrusive thoughts? Which are absolutely unwanted. But most of my clients, you'll be surprised to know, go through intrusive thoughts so many times. And they are all basically negative in nature, but they are absolutely, in other words, useless, but they keep coming to them because they have not been able to address the problem. Where is it coming from? If it's from digital era or it's from something else they're doing, right? Some, again, some post. So here I would like to quote one of my clients had this issue. And she thought, she assumed, now how brain starts to work in the negative part of things, that somebody is behind her back are posting deliberately, um, targeting her in her posts. But that was not the case. But since she was already into the negative pattern of thinking things, she could not get over it. And she literally thought that's what has been happening. So, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. So, let's talk it like this about intrusive thoughts. So, let's see, your mind is a email inbox, right? And you have junk also, junk emails and inbox emails, right? But here your mind is not able to delete what? The junk emails. So what would happen? They will keep repeating themselves, and that's what intrusive thoughts do to your mind. Okay, so remember that. So we really need to get rid of them. So after that, intrusive thoughts, the fourth one is when you start missing your deadlines. So now your mind is so preoccupied with this digital era that you are not able to cope up with what is going on, and your mind gets what? It is missing its deadline. So I would say anything, excuse me, from five, if you have missed your five deadlines, smaller or bigger, then it's a red flag for you to work with a professional. Okay. Then what happens in number five? This digital era can give you external validation. So, what are you doing now? So, you're looking for validation externally. Your inner compass is not working anymore. You're always looking somebody, you want their validation in the form of praising you, in the form of rewarding you, and so on and so forth. And that is the worst kind of thing is happening. So, some of us also end up like, okay, this is what I posted, and but nobody reacted to it, nobody passed a comment on it. Was it right? So you become self-doubt. The next level becomes what? You become under the umbrella of self-doubting yourself, even if you're doing something very nice, something very good, something very authentic. But what happens? Oh, nobody liked my stuff, nobody's commenting on it. So you become in the umbrella of self-doubt after you have not worked on yourself, and you want to keep getting external validation from the people, right? So check which one of is yours. It's very important. I wanted to do this live because I really wanted to show people how these things are all interrelated and how they can really impact your mental strength, which you're not able to develop. Once you get into one thing, it spirals down to another one and next one and next one. Okay. The next one is that what would you happen if you are missing your deadlines, external validations, and then previously we talked about difficulty concentrating and so on and so forth, fixation on worst case scenarios. So what will happen now? You will not be able to make any right decisions about you, whether it's your personal life or whether it's your professional life. Okay, so that's very important as well. All right, so now how do we stop this overthinking part if it's related to digital era? So first of all, I would give you nine, I would say 9D, which you are able to make, 9 DSCs, where you are able to make some really right decisions if you really want to get into the self care, digital self care for yourself. But if you can try some of this, that's fine too. The basically break your routine. Now, whenever you're getting or you're finding yourself all those symptoms and signs I talked about, any few of them, even if they're more than three, start working right away. So break your routine. So try to do something different. So it could be a daily routine. It could be anything regarding your workplace as well. Now, the second one is I would really want you to do is start to reframing your mind. So here, this might not be that easy, but once you start doing, just try to reframe, change the perspective, what you're seeing, what is happening in the world. Okay. Third one is practice mindfulness. I know it's difficult because when you are bombarded with so much of stimulation in this digital era, you are not able to take your mind off. But even if you don't have to do mindfulness in the form of meditation, you can just do the walking meditation, which I tell a lot of my people, just walk and try to not use any digital tool that time. Just keep it away so that when you're walking, you're just walking. I mean, just do it for 10 minutes, okay? Or if any of these things are not working out for you, then I would strongly suggest a professional help. You can come to me, coaches, they are very good in helping you out when you're having a lot of nervousness, anxieties regarding digital era, and you're not able to cope up with any of the symptoms I talked to you about. So you should really reach out to get a professional help. So these are the some of things which I really wanted to mention to you. This is what really happens. And when we are too much on social media. Now, the last one is I really wanted to share it with you all is digital self-care. We all know what are the things you can do right now in this digital era so that you can take care of yourself. Here, I'm not only talking about your physical health, I'm more so talking about your emotional health, which most of us somehow um, disregard. And they think, oh, no, nothing is important, right? But I, being an emotional intelligence coach, I make sure that you are definitely talking about your emotional health, right? Which is very important these days in the digital self care era. So, when emotional health gets disturbed while you're using either digital technologies, digital tools, internet, so on and so forth, one of the biggest things becomes very profound, which is setting the boundaries right. And I'll be talking all about that, right? So, what are the 9 DSCs? So, 9 is what? DSC is nothing but digital self care. So, number one, turn off your notifications. So try to work with the limited notifications where you feel some days could be important, but other days, please turn them off. You don't need them all the time. Who's calling you? Who's texting you? Who's on social media? What is going on? No, you don't need that every single day. Absolutely not. So turn them off, or in the beginning you can start doing it 3 days. Now, second one is delete the apps make you feel bad. Now there are some apps you just want to keep them. So many of my clients, they have a habit of downloading apps these days because as we are in digital era, you want to keep updating your apps, or it's a part of the deal these days. But I think please delete some of them which are not working for you. The third one is leave the groups which you feel are not for you. Like some of the people, they will still keep attending networking groups or conferences and they are not providing any benefit to them. Now, here I'm targeting and I'm mostly talking about your emotional health. So you can do these things, all right? 9 DSCs. Number four is keep your photos organized. Now, even if you have to happen to be on social media, don't overshare anything. So you keep everything organized. You share when you want to, and don't overshare because that also leads up to your mind getting programmed that okay, I need to keep sharing this. I have to be keeping everybody update. Oh, I have to share it today. I have to share it tomorrow. Don't do that. Okay, so your mind starts to work overtime and it feels that you have formed a pattern to doing it again and again. So organize things you have, share it when you want to, and then see what happens. Okay, limit your social media times. Now this is such an important thing I keep talking about. So you don't have to be on the social media all the time. Here I also want to give viewers a very important TikTok, because most of us are here on TikTok all the time. So please do limit your time on TikTok as well, because when you're scrolling too much, your mind is, basically trying to process so many times. When you're scrolling on the TikTok, it's so much of information coming to your mind. And sometimes you feel that it's overwhelming for you, and there might be at times when your mind gets tired. And some of my clients told me this is how they go to sleep. So that was quite surprising for me. If this is one of you, please don't do so. You need to, before you sleep, you completely need to shut off your phone, and especially not being on TikTok. Okay, just shut off your phone for some time. The next one is that keep your phone somewhere else in the other room. That's always a good idea while you're trying to or going to sleep. Try a digital detox. Now, here it is a very important one. I give it to a few of my clients and I said, absolutely nothing. You will not see for next 3 days what's happening on social media. They had so much of urge to look at it, who's saying what, who's wearing what, who's on the digital platform. I said, nothing doing. You will not watch anything. And that helped them to calm their anxieties a little bit. Okay, I know it's difficult. You can try it. You can try it one day, you can make it 2 days, or sometimes in a week. Just do it for a couple of days. That's good enough for your mental health. The next one is number 8 is use your digital time more intentionally. Now, here is a very fascinating one. I personally use my digital time very intentionally, where I want to learn something, where I want to take down some notes, or where I need to listen to some people, some coaches, some motivational speakers. I love to listen to them, and want to see how they are coming across to the people. What are they doing latest? So it is all intentional. So I pre-frame my mind that I'll be on digital media for some reason. So it's a more of an intentional. So you're already preparing your brain or your mind to see certain things which you enjoy. So one of the things you can also write down, the things you enjoy. Some people like to watch cooking videos. Some people like to watch singing videos, dancing videos, learning, educational videos. All those are pretty good. Okay, so pre-frame your mind that okay, twice a week or thrice a week, I will just spend my time. Yes, I'll be on social media, but I'll be there for the good reasons, for with good intentions, learning something which is going to help my mind. Now, whenever you're learning something, your brain gets I would say more in the hyper zone, and it is and your learning power becomes more profound. Okay, so try to be on social media for right reasons as well, other than watching people what they are doing. Just see what you can do and how this is going to help your brain. Okay, the last one is avoid taking your phone everywhere. So when I tell people, whenever, like I was just mentioned you in my 9 DSCs, like when you're going for a walk, just don't take your phone, just don't look at your phone, just do a 10 minutes walk. So I don't know why we have become so habitual to keep phone always next to us. Try that, keeping somewhere else. You're sitting in one room, just keep it on while you're eating dinner. Just try, because like I said, so many things can really unknowingly to you can harm your brain, right? And what really happens, I also talk about, these leads to other than nervousness and so many really mental health issues, this can also decrease your human interaction, which I really want you to build upon. Okay, so this digital era, just make sure you're sitting with your at dinner table with your family and talking something, picking up the phone and talking to someone. Okay, something of that nature. And also your creativity, don't forget your creativity while you're in this digital era, because you need to work on your creativity as well. Whatever you like doing, just keep doing it, irrespective, because so much time is consumed by this digital era that you've forgotten to do something for your own self. So please try out that as well. So last one is, of course, your emotional intelligence. I do talk a lot about emotional regulations, and don't forget to also taking care of your emotions. Are you able to express yourself the way you want to? Are you able to say things the way you want to? Are you able to feel all the emotions the way you want to? It could be happy, sad, excited, enthusiastic. Are you able to literally express the way they are, or you're deviating from them? So all these things you need to keep evaluating yourself, or keep reflecting to yourself how they're working out for you. Okay, so this digital era, we really need to focus certain things on ourselves as well. Why we are, of course we are going to be in digital era, but there's certain steps, like I told you, you can also take care of yourself. All right. So this is the self-care tips. I really wanted to share it with you all. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so somebody here. Um, okay. So one of the things, if you feel that it is not sitting well with you, is I would strongly suggest, um, try to limit in the beginning the social media. If you can stop it for a day is good. Yeah, I know it's not that easy. So somebody's asking me 24 hours. I would strongly recommend you that. Yeah, in the beginning, or few hours to begin with. Yeah. In the beginning, you have to stop it. Yeah. So the question is, how can I just start? Where do I start? So the starting point is when you limit your social media interaction. Okay. So if you can do it for few hours, excellent to begin with. But eventually you have to develop on your hours. Like the digital detox, which I talk about, which is a little more advanced, which I give it to my clients, is usually 20, minimum 24 hours, but it can go up to 48 and 72 when you are not able to. If you're able to do it 72 hours, great. So you're giving your mind some kind of relief. Okay. But 24 hours is good. But if even if you're not able to do 24 hours, so start up your day not looking at your phone. uh, if you a night before, you can say, okay, let's see, whatever your hobbies are or your passion is, make sure that you tell yourself, next morning I'm going to get up. If I'm going to use my phone, the first thing, I'm going to use it for my passion. You can try out that. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for being with me today. I hope this was a very helpful live session for you all, where you learn how you can take care of your, especially emotional and mental health, while uh, going through this digital era. And I shall be back again with another live, and hope you all have a wonderful day.